All right, it's Sunday, January 5th, 2025, and Donald Trump has just promised shock and awe on his first day and couple days of his administration, warning the deep state, the Democrats, rhinos in his own party, saying, get ready because we are coming, we are ready, and you won't know what hit you. Saying this after learning that the Biden administration right now is working like bees in the White House to tie the Trump administration in knots. Sabotage. That's what they're doing. They are trying to sabotage the incoming Trump administration. You can't make this up. Karine Jean-Pierre promising major announcements tomorrow on Monday that are set to block Trump from carrying out his agenda. This is a huge deal what they're talking about. We're going to explain. But before we get started, thank you for liking and sharing these videos. It really helps out the channel. And consider subscribing so you don't miss these regular updates. Also, a big update in the second part of today's video that ties into all of this, because what the Biden administration is about to do changes a lot, could change a lot. So make sure to stick around for that.
I've been told that it's going to be shock and awe as far as executive orders and all the list of things that are going to happen on January 20th, and that they're going to throw a lot in the first day and maybe a couple of days that will have to be digested, but it's action that's happening right away before Congress gets its act in gear and passes whatever it passes.
Well, you know, keeping up with the incoming president, we'll just be up all night long on Inauguration night. Just stay up for the signed actions to start the very next day. Thanks for being with us.
So we have 2 weeks to go before Trump's sworn in as the 47th president. This will not be like Trump's first term, folks. He's got the right team around him, his inner circle, ironclad. He made Stephen Miller his deputy chief of policy. That makes Stephen Miller one of the most powerful people in all of government, and he's a pit bull. Big-time conservative, very smart guy, loyal as it gets, and he's extremely powerful. He will be making sure that all of these plans are carried out, that every one of these executive orders and policies are executed, and if they're not, then you're out. And they've been working on this for years, folks. Literally, since he left the White House, they've been working on their plan for January 21st, 2025. All the deregulation orders already drafted, all the executive orders already drafted, ready to be signed on day one. They know how to legally downsize the federal government, which legal frameworks to use to get this done. Trump's made a lot of promises. People I speak to say that the biggest fear in Trump world is that Americans have such high expectations for change, they're afraid it won't be enough. And you know how Trump is. The guy wants to please. Well, here's the thing. In order to carry all of this out, in order to achieve his goals and fulfill these promises, bring down inflation, bring back American jobs, manufacturing jobs, good high-paying jobs, the first most important piece of the puzzle, a thing he has to do immediately, and they know this, before he pardons the J6 hostages, before closing the border, before anything, he has to get oil out of the ground and fast. He has to get the Keystone Pipeline moving. He has to open ANWR. He has to cut all the BS regulations that these climate cult Dems put into place, which he will. I just don't know how fast he can actually do that. It's easier said than done, because that will lead to lower energy prices, lower inflation, increased economic output, and everything else will just come once he does that. He'll have popular support if he can achieve this, if he can say to the American people, look at your gas bill, look at your energy bill, your electric bill. I cut prices in half. Most important thing, the most immediate thing that Trump needs to do. And the Biden White House just sabotaged it. You can't make this up. There are reports coming in from the White House that as early as Monday morning, tomorrow morning, Joe Biden will be banning all new offshore oil and gas development across 625 million acres of U.S. coastal territory. The ban will prohibit the sale of new drilling rights across the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans and the eastern Gulf of Mexico. You can see the map that was leaked here. All of the red Joe Biden is about to ban permanently. This comes just weeks after Trump made a major promise. He promised to cut the price of energy and electricity in half within 12 months, saying we will seriously expedite our environmental approvals and quickly double our electricity production. This will drive down inflation and make America and Michigan the best place on earth to build a factory. I will cut the price of energy and electricity in half within 12 months. Watch.
I will cut the price of energy and electricity in half. Ready? 12 months from January 20th, I take office on January 20th, your electric bill, including cars, air conditioners, heating, everything, your total electric bill will be 50% less. We're going to cut it in half. And we have it. We have the power to do it because we have it. We don't need ships. We don't need long train. We have everything. We're going to have to build some pipelines because we can't transport it. But that's easy to do, and that's safer than trains. But we're going to get this done, and you're going to have, within 1 year, think of it, within 1 year, you're going to have electric bills and energy bills, and your gasoline for your car is going to be 50% cheaper than it is right now. That's a big thing. That's a big thing. But we will seriously expedite our environmental approvals. I will expedite them. If I have to, I'll just approve them. Because they use that, they use the environmental approvals to stop progress and quickly double our electricity capacity, and we're going to have it doubled and tripled. This will drive down inflation and make America and Michigan the best place on earth to build a factory.
This is sabotage. Sabotage, pure and simple. And get this, the sneaky way that they're doing this prevents Trump from undoing it, from reversing it. Look at this. Biden's decision relies on a provision of the 72-year-old Outer Continental Shelf Lands Act. This allows the president to withdraw federal waters from future oil and gas leasing. Section 12A OCSLA does not include language that would allow any future presidents to reverse the ban. So it turns out not all executive orders can be easily reversed. That was tested, they say, after President Barack Obama banned offshore drilling in parts of the Arctic Ocean and dozens of canyons in the Atlantic Ocean. The New York Times also adding, during his first term in office, Mr. Trump tried to revoke the ban that Obama put in place. In 2019, U.S. District Court Judge Sharon Gleason in Alaska ruled that Mr. Obama's ban could not be undone without an act of Congress. So let's be clear. This isn't Joe Biden doing this. This is Dem and deep state actors who are plotting, who have plotted to put this together, another way to stop Trump in the long term, prevent him from fulfilling his promises, prevent him from fixing the economy, lowering prices, which will drain his popular support. That's their goal, folks. Realize these people were caught completely off guard 2 months ago when Trump swept the election. Swept the Congress. They really believed Trumpism, America First, this populist wave that we're living was a temporary phenomenon. One of Biden's largest backers, one of the Dems' largest backers, promised this, promised Trump would disappear in 2019. Watch.
I consider the Trump administration a danger to the world, but I regard it as a purely temporary phenomenon that will disappear in 2020 or even sooner.
That was George Soros, the same man who our president, Joe Biden, just awarded the highest civilian medal to, the Medal of Freedom. Awarded it to George Soros, of all people, on Friday. What? If you were wondering who was funding and backing Joe, well, you got your answer. Joe awarding George Soros, Hillary Clinton, and 16 other rich Dem donors on Friday with the Medal of Freedom. You can't make this up. These people will do anything to keep Trump from unwinding all of the progress that they made these past few decades. It's not a coincidence that we just saw Mexico, Honduras, and Greenland come out on the same day to reject Trump's proposals. Mexico and Honduras presidents coming out to oppose Trump's mass deportation plans and receiving the incoming people, their people, back to their countries. Greenland's prime minister also coming out and rejecting Trump's offer to buy Greenland, even though it's not his decision, right? It's Denmark's. The Biden administration is working with them, guiding them how to respond to Trump, which in my view is treasonous. It's criminal. Actively working against the American interest just to thwart Donald Trump is criminal, in my opinion. Here's Greenland's Prime Minister responding to Donald Trump last week. Roll the tape.
Here in Greenland, we need to have some growth. We need to have some economic growth and diversify our economy. And of course, we welcome our strong partners, like-minded nations as first. But if they don't invest, there's a lot of companies who also want to invest in this country.
Look, Trump's got his work cut out for him. He's inheriting a terrible economy, a record national debt, which Joe Biden just added to, sending another $2.5 billion of your tax dollars to Ukraine, and a U.S. dollar that's poised to implode, in my opinion. It's why we're seeing other powerful countries now abandoning the U.S. dollar, no longer buying treasuries like they always had, instead buying gold and silver. China, just last week, secretly caught buying up massive amounts of gold, 10 times more than they officially reported, according to Goldman Sachs. Look at this. 1 month ago, with gold sprinting to daily record highs, Goldman's precious metal analyst Lena Thomas made the case that gold will rise by the end of 2025 to $3,000 an ounce as a result of relentless central bank purchases in general, and thanks to China's ravenous appetite for gold in particular. And there's forecasts out there as well from some of the world's most accurate silver price analysts that they say silver could also hit new highs. And look, I don't buy silver and gold to get rich, obviously. I don't buy it as an investment. I do it for wealth preservation, right? Diversification, putting a small amount of my money in gold and silver in case shit really does hit the fan and these people are successful in stopping Donald Trump from effectively rolling out his agenda. All right, that wraps up the news portion of this video. Now let me tell you about the sponsor for today. VZLA Silver Corp ties directly into what we were just talking about. 2 weeks between now and the inauguration, this is my most important silver announcement yet. 9 analysts, all with buy ratings, are covering this one. Wall Street stalwart Franklin Templeton, as well as Sprott Inc. and billionaire investor Eric Sprott, are all shareholders of my sponsor today. This is a silver company listed on the New York Stock Exchange that is, I believe, one of the most underpriced and undervalued silver companies out there. It's a big statement, but let me explain why I believe that. My sponsor for today's show is not your typical or average silver company. It is perhaps the most compelling one that I personally come across, and it's trading on the New York Stock Exchange with 9 analysts already covering it, all of them having issued a buy rating. And Eric Sprott, notable shareholder, as well as Sprott Inc. and Franklin Templeton, the trillion-dollar Wall Street giant. Couple these with management and the CEO that are themselves shareholders. I'm telling you, pay attention to this one. VZLA Silver, ticker VZLA. Remember this name, remember the ticker. You can see the analyst price targets right now on the screen. The stock is currently sub $2 US, and I believe these targets from $275 US all the way to $450 US are justified in my view. Look, 2025, it's a year filled with catalysts for VZLA Silver, whose management I personally consider to be the best in the business. Go ahead and dive deep into the bios of the top brass over there. Look at these credentials. So look, I'm going to drop some bombshells on you right now. All of the following are facts, not speculations, not maybes, not rumors, but verifiable facts. Number 1, VZLA Silver has a market cap of less than 500 million US, with 88 million US in cash and no debt on their books. Let me repeat that, no debt. VZLA Silver issued a preliminary economic assessment for its silver project with an estimated production cost of $9.4 an ounce of silver. Compare that to the global average of $17.56 an ounce. No guarantees, but these preliminary assessments are very encouraging. Number 3, VZLA Silver's project called Panuco, the world's largest, yes, largest silver gold project that isn't yet in production. And number 4, the company's 2025 catalysts include making a production decision, updating their mineral resource estimate, and conducting a feasibility study. The company intends to make a production decision only following release of a positive feasibility study. Seriously, I can't find reason not to conduct in-depth due diligence on VZLA Silver, given these potential catalysts. The 9 analysts, with their buy ratings and favorable price targets, as I record this video, shares trade around $1.70 US. Now let's see where the 9 analysts are putting their price targets. They have 2.75 US, $2.95, 305, 319, 329, 347, 375, 451, and $4.75 US, which is more than 150% higher than today's price. Those are the analyst price targets, not mine. This chart was the big one for me, though. The one that made me realize the upside potential. A developer like VZLA Silver trading at 0.43 times of the net present value, yet the average producer trades at 1.04 times their net present value. So once the market anticipates production's coming, the potential re-rating occurs, and that could represent a huge upside. And look, I really do believe that today's sponsor, VZLA Silver, could be a significant story in the silver sector. There's no other silver project of that scale, size, and near-term production timeline that's even remotely comparable. This is most definitely a research opportunity, so take this one seriously. Look, here's what I'll do. I'll put a link to their website in the description of the video. Make sure to do your own due diligence. I'm only providing some of the information about the company, the sector, and their upcoming catalysts. All right, that wraps up this episode. Like, subscribe. We'll see you next time.